Okay, so this is the string art generator project with Max Suk and Peter Gurdev. And so first off, I guess let me let me just run this to start because it takes a while. And go over here. So it gives you options to choose from. You can look at different images, and then you can choose which one, change settings. This one works pretty well with the stormtrooper head, so that's why it's just set to this automatically. You can change that though, which I will show later. And so then it goes through them. And this is the reference photo that it uses, that it creates. And so it'll go through this and while we talk. So first, I import pillow and import math, import random, import turtle, and import TKinter, which it doesn't like it comes automatic with Mac for some reason. I'm not sure about Windows, so if you're running this, you might need to change some code around. I don't know. Um, reference is just equals to that. Then I have a dictionary of references. These are all the images that are used in the folder. There's 11 of them. Image size just sets these basic stuff that end up changing later. So first we'll look at image to square. So this uh takes in an image, centers it, crops it, and changes it to black and white, and using pillow and other things. And so then image to circle, it changes the thing to a circle, basic. It doesn't actually need to. I just like the look of it for the reference photo. Nail placement. This is the nail placement. So the dots around the circle that will end up like being the things that the string connects to. And then it uses the thing, and then turtle and this one are two different things because to have it running at the same time, turtle is like the only way I could do that without opening a million images. And so yeah. Oh, it finished. So that's what it looks like with turtle. This is what it looks like with pillow. And so pillow I think looks much better, but yeah. Uh okay, so then we continue to oh no, so turtle uses -500 to 500, and so draw uses 0 to, or -500 for example, like, and then turtle or pillow would use 0 to 1,000. And then we continue on. Pixels, this just gets a list of pixels. So for the basic thing of 1,000, it would have a list of a million things. And so to sort that, this is all in black and white as well. So the numbers only average or only deviate from 0 to 255, which is what we need for the calculation of this. And so to sort this so that it's easy to access, I have a nested dictionary, which is a dictionary in a dictionary, or multiple dictionaries in a dictionary. So a dictionary that would have pretty much it'd be rows and columns of the pixels uh ordered so that you can actually access them to compare. So that is used in the Brethenham algorithm, which is a basic algorithm, which I'm sure you know, which just returns the list of coordinates along a line from point A to point B. And so it actually isn't used in that. I'm sorry. It is used in the line finder. So line finder is what this whole thing is based off of. pretty much it. Like the heart of the system, some could say. Uh, Not really. Kind of like the veins. Okay. So, first I just have dark, like these are temporary ones. Dark at 0 is the one that just checks, dark 1, blah blah blah. That's it sets it to white, and then we try to find the lowest one beyond that. And so it goes through the list or the nails, so it will start at the given point. So for example, 0, and then we'll go through 1, 2, 3, all the way to the last nail, which currently I think is set to 150. So checks all 150 of those, finds the darkest one that isn't in a list of ones that have already been done. So uh so that we don't have the same string going over multiple times. And then it also checks the length. So one issue with the thing is we found that if you don't have the length of the string set to something be a minimum, then it can clump. And so this is an adjustable thing that you can change because it can greatly impact images where some you want the minimum length to be really low, some you want them to be really high. Okay. So then after this, uh we go down to draw lines. Draw lines is actually the heart of everything. The other stuff, like I said, vein, blood, whatever. So this creates the new blank canvas. This is the output image, and starts at 0 for this. And that will change later on, obviously. And so then a for loop for the amount of strings you have set to do, so that will affect the thing greatly. And so start point goes to end point. We find which one, or like we run line finder, find the start point and end point, and then we'll add them to a list, have turtle go to that as well, draw it out. And so I have it so it just skips the actual drawing frame of it, so it goes a little faster, not much faster. And then it appends this to that list that I was talking about before, that we don't want to do those again, start point to end point. And then we also want to make sure that end point to start point doesn't happen, because same thing. And so yeah. Then I have, you can choose either one. I think like this is to choose the start point for the next thing. So you can either have it be random in between 0 to the amount of nails you want, -1, just because 1 to 200 doesn't work out normally in coding. It's a 0 to 199, blah blah blah. And then the start one, or the second one is incremental, so it just goes starts at 0, then 2, then 3, and then all the way to 200. But if it's 200, we don't want that, so -200, and then it'll start at 0 again. So it'll just keep on going for as many strings as you set. Then we have image.show, which shows the end product, saves it to a folder, or saves it to the folder we have, and saves it as end product. And so that is the bulk of it. Like that is what the project is, but we also we like saw that was a little less than we wanted for a final project. So we decided to add TKinter, which is just a GUI. And so this makes it much nicer to actually like touch or play around with. It's just easy to set everything. And so I have update stuff, which is pretty much all the same. I have it so that the GUI keeps images on the top the same height and everything. So we have a scaler. It just sets the things to everything. All the other stuff updates just the labels and everything. And so we have a slider for image selection, a slider for how many nails you want, a slider for the amount of strings you would like placed, a slider for the image size you want, or no, that image size for the next one, and then a slider for the minimum length of string. And so that is a percentage because you can change the image size, so it wouldn't make any sense to have a uh a number be set to something because I wasn't sure how to update that, to be honest. And so a little workaround. And then a toggle for the random and thing and incremental one. So that can actually change in the middle of the thing if you just prefer looking at that. It doesn't do too much, although random, you can occasionally get better outcomes, but then again, it's just random. If you do incremental, it will always be the same. And so then the final button to just start it, it calls and sets a bunch of global variables, which call the other stuff talked about before. So that is the code, and I can show a little more of the actual GUI. So the GUI, you can choose different images that you want. I have some preset ones. This is an example of a much better algorithm than what I have for a thing. I just wanted to see what it would look like if you set the same amount of strings. It looks worse somehow, but yeah. So seems that this is actually messed up. So I will fix that, but oh, what is going on? So yeah, one image isn't showing up, which it should. So it'll be fixed by the time you look at this. And so the amount of nails, let me restart this actually. Okay, so you can set the image, you can set the amount of nails, and this affects the amount of nails placed so you can get a better image quality. If you set it higher, but it will take longer because it will have to just go through more. The amount of strings, you can get a better image as well, but you will have to go through more and it will end up being darker. And if you put too many, it'll just do every single possible connection because eventually it's like every point's going to be the darkest if you just keep adding that many lines. And so um then um then the minimum length is a percentage of whatever image size you have it set to. I haven't tried really big images. I know that this, like, if I did, it would take hours. It would probably take, if I put maximum settings on, it would probably take around 2 hours. But you could probably get a really good looking image. I have not tried yet though. And so um the the minimum length, it can end up clumping, which uh I usually have it set to, for this one, since there's no dark edges, I have it set really low, around 10%. And you can set it higher. You most likely want to have it around 50% for most images to get something that is recognizable. And image size, I just set to 1000 because that was the default I was using, and then the random thing, which when used, I'll set this lower so that it is faster. When used, it just jumps around. And so you can see a little bit of a difference when you turn it on, where it goes and it still finds them relatively quickly. But random, I find just you usually get a better image because sometimes it may not touch a part and you might want it to. So there's a chance you get it. And so yeah. It doesn't matter if you change the thing later on. I think actually it might be right here issue with naming. So, yeah, I think that is everything that I can say about this. Oh, issues I had along the way. Issues like that Peter and I have faced were just trying to figure out how to even start the lines. So beyond just like the thing of finding out that it was to go for the darkest line possible. It was just a bunch of research. I had to like scour through uh some some of like other people's codes, try to figure out what it was, and it was all in different languages, so that was a bit difficult. And try to piece together what they did so that I could understand what I need to do. And also learning how to use Pillow was a big thing, and learning how to use TKinter. TKinter was very complicated, much more complicated than I would have thought. It's just a bunch of things. I don't know. Like I still hardly know how to use it. But yeah. Um, Other issues were the nested dictionary. The nested dictionary was probably one of our biggest holdbacks because I didn't like realize it was wrong for a while. So Peter and I were eating at J and H and just spent 5 hours there, just like asking people online, "Hey, how does this work?" Or like, what is wrong with this code? And so eventually we found out that it was the nested thing that was just it was just a dumb mistake. And so it set like all the variables were just in the wrong spaces. And so that was upsetting that it took that long. And what other issues? For a while we were looking for lightest, and so that did not help with a poor dictionary, though it was easy to fix. Um, oh, and probably the dumbest things at the beginning was learning GitHub and everything, and we could not figure out how to share a GitHub account or no, share a GitHub to one another, a repo. And so we just ended up using the same account just because it was easier than just not. So uh I think that's about everything there is. I don't know what else to say. Um Pretty sure that was the issue. Let me just double check. We're not there. Um so yeah. Um Let me just show the fix thing. Right, yep, there you are. Okay. That is it. Feel free to try other images. I don't know if they will look good. And this is Max Suk signing out, I guess. Uh, and now end recording. Nope. How do you do this? This is gonna stay in, but oh, here we go.